Hi everyone, welcome to part 2. Okay, Topalov has just played rook takes d6. So now of course Vishy played rook takes d6, but now black is hopeless, no matter how he tries to defend. Topalov chose to save his bishop, which is the best option he has, but his position is still completely lost after bishop e4, despite having 3 minor pieces against a rook. Once again, these knights are just completely useless where they are, and the opening Anand chose, which resulted in these ridiculous queenside knights, shows a very cunning strategy, because as you saw, once the game opened up, white's attack was ferocious. All it took was one misstep from black, and now his position is completely losing. But I think in any case, white would have been better no matter how the game continued, even if he hadn't been able to play the sacrifice on h6, given these black knights. It's unbelievable that one of the top players in the world would have these ridiculously posted knights. So anyway, now white has rook takes e6, attacking the bishop and threatening rook e7 with dual threats on the black queen and king. And Topalov now tried for counterplay, but it was too little too late with knight d3. And the threat, of course, is mate with queen takes f2, and also the c1 rook is attacked, but a simple move rook c2 solves all of these problems. Playing instead rook takes e4 allows black to draw with a perpetual. Queen takes f2 check, king h1, queen f3 check, king g1, and queen f2 check, etc. So rook c2 is the right move. Now queen h7, and here Vishy played yet another sacrifice in order to win back material with f7 check. And if the king takes, then the queen is lost. So queen takes f7 is the right move. If instead rook takes f7, now it's mate n2 with rook c8 check, forcing rook f8, and now rook takes f8 is mate. So queen takes f7, and now rook takes e4, which is possible thanks to the pawn sack because the queen was defending the bishop from h7. And as well as having a rook and 2 pawns against 2 knights, white's position is now completely winning. And to make matters worse, Topalov now blundered with queen f5. Better was knight takes f2, but it's still completely lost. So after queen f5 comes the rook e7, and here Topalov had to resign as he's going to be mated quickly. His best defense is rook f7, but now comes the rook c8 check. So rook sacrifice, because queen takes c8 is forced to delay mate as long as possible, but it's still completely forcing line with queen g6 check. King h8 delays mate as long as possible, and now queen h5 check because white wants to take the rook with check. So king g8, now queen takes f7 check, king h8, and queen g7 is mate. So a very nice game from Vishy, both tactically and strategically. He takes the lead 2.5 to 1.5 in my opinion. He seems very much in control of this match. So we've got a bit of time left. You may as well have a replay. So yeah, a brilliant game from Vishy. So out of the first 4 games, there's been only 1 draw, which is great to see. And I suppose it's to be expected with Topalov playing in particular, because he's a go for broke kind of player. Sometimes to his disadvantage, sometimes he's too aggressive. He goes for the win too much and ends up losing as a result of it. Sometimes you just have to accept that all he can do is draw. But yeah, a very nice psychological choice from Anand. I think we can expect to see many more Catalans when he's playing with white, because it's a great choice against a player like Topalov, because Topalov's very aggressive and he likes open tactical positions, and the Catalan in general is slower and more positional and maneuvering kind of game. And yeah, his preparation with this knight a3 is very interesting. It's well, he's clearly analysed all the lines very deep, but this effect of resulting in these 2 knights here in a6 and b4 compared to these 2 much more active knights who are soon going to be occupying this d6 outpost. Even if h6 hadn't been played, after this knight goes to d6, the knight on e3 can come to c4, and an outpost can be made here with very good play as compensation for the pawn. But I mean, these two pawns here are very, very easy for white to attack anyway, so black probably wouldn't be able to hold on to them in any case. And as soon as e5 is played there, rook c4 is always threatened to come over and attack the queen, or sorry, the king, once the position has been opened up. So it was a brilliant conception from Vishy, this whole attack, this whole game. I think it was 4 or 5 sacrifices if you include some of the variations that weren't played in the game as possibilities. So that's it. Anyway, brilliant game from Anand, and he takes the lead, as I said, by 2.5 to 1.5. And tomorrow, that's Friday, Topalov has the white pieces, and play starts at 1 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. So I hope to see you there, and I hope you enjoyed this analysis. Please leave any comments or thoughts. Thanks very much.